Welcome back. The leaders of the House Armed Services Committee's Critical Supply Chain Task Force are examining what the Defense Department needs that it's having trouble getting. Allies and partners can lower supply chain risks. According to Jerry McGinn, Executive Director of the Center for Government Contracting at George Mason University. He's former Principal Deputy Director for Manufacturing and Industrial Base at the Pentagon, and he's writing about resiliency in the Defense Industrial Base in the Hill newspaper. Jerry, welcome. Thanks very much for coming on the program. I appreciate the Beatles reference, your piece titled Building Industrial Resilience with a Little Help from Our Friends. Who are the friends in particular that can help keep the supply chain resilient for the department?
Well, thanks, Francis. It's great to be back. Yeah, it's all about our really close allies and partners. These are the ones that we go to war with, that we have trusted, strong relationships with. These are our NATO partners and our Five Eyes partners, and countries like Japan, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and those are our trusted partners. And we already work very closely with them. So let's and they have competitive advantages in a number of areas. So let's work together to address industrial resilience.
You write that we start, you write, with a very strong baseline, and then you describe what that baseline is, the business and the relationships that we already leverage with those partners. You write the first step to build off the White House report on supply chain resilience would be to clarify White House and Defense Department guidance on the important benefits of those contributions. What would you like to see that guidance include?
I'd like to see the White House kind of reaffirm the importance of allies and partners in the role they play in helping our industrial base, because the White House has a focus on Buy America, and that creates some cognitive dissonance for our allies and partners at some point. It's in some ways. So I think there's very clear guidance in the DoD 5000 series about how partners and allies can contribute. And we just need to make that, reinforce that up and down the acquisition chain, so that you have things such as partners are not, so when they're doing requirements for a program, they're not using classified information that allies can't see, or because we're talking about companies that are based in the United States, subsidiaries of foreign parents that build ships, build electronic systems, and then also help industrial-based activities. So there's some real practical ways that the administration can do to address this initially.
How would that juxtapose with a Buy American policy, a Buy American idea, and is there political appetite to create maybe a Buy America and allies type of policy? Is that even a possibility?
I think it is. I think that's the win-win approach. Because the White House report said it best. I mean, they said, this is the 100-day report for the review by the current administration, that said the United States cannot address its supply chain vulnerabilities alone. And that's where the allies come in. I think you can't build everything here. There's a reason why a lot of these manufacturing capabilities move out. And countries like the Australia and Canada have competitive advantages in mining, Japan and rare earth magnets. The UK is very strong in robotics and other areas. So I think there are ways that we have to build critical manufacturing capabilities here, and we have to get out, most importantly, out of doing vulnerabilities with respect to China. And we can do that where we can domestically, but sometimes with a little help from our friends. Maybe it makes more sense to involve allied partners on specific activities. And that's where I think it's you don't buy America only. You have to, build domestic mass, but I think there's a real win-win solution. And I think the House task force that you referenced is exactly coming out with that approach. Their report's due out in the next couple of days, and they've talked about a buy-allied approach. So I think there's a good potential to square the circle, so to speak, between partnerships and Buy America.
You've got one more step here, and we're starting to run out of time. The next step is strengthening the existing industrial-based programs and initiatives to increase allied and partner participation. Sounds like you're already headed down that road in the vision that you just laid out a moment ago, Jerry.
That's correct. I mean, you already have really strong policy frameworks or actual programs that we can build off of. The National Technology Industrial Base was created in 2017 NDAA that sets the framework for the United States, Canada, Australia, and United Kingdom being one industrial base. However, that's done good work on foreign direct investments, but there's no real practical aspects. Let's make NTIP clauses in opportunities in the Department of Defense. So you create real concrete opportunities that companies can go after. Likewise with Defense Production Act Title III, believe it or not, under the law, U.S. and Canada are considered domestic sources. Let's expand that definition to include the United Kingdom and Australia. So then you've got the best of our allied and partners and domestic capabilities addressing United States industrial base weaknesses. So it's a win-win. And then, there's another program, the Industrial Base Analysis and Sustainment Program, very small budget, core budget. Let's raise that to at least 50 million. So I think there are a number of ways we already got the frameworks in place. Let's really kind of give some real concrete opportunities that companies can seize on, and we can work together with our close partners and allies.
Jerry McGinn, thanks very much as always. Great to talk to you again.
Really great seeing you, Francis.